Very interesting email I had the other day that's sort of thrown down the gauntlet, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try and work round this one. Let me show you the message I got, and it is from Joel, and he says, I have a brilliant voice, but there's nothing I can do about it because I don't have money to pursue a career. And I thought, well, that is a challenge. Can you get started in voiceovers without actually spending any money? I think it's a tough one, but let's see if we can work through some options and see what happens. I've scribbled them down here to remind myself of sort of the ideas I've been thinking about over the last couple of days or so. I think the first thing, Joel, is to utilize free resources. So if you haven't got any money, if you can't invest in your voiceover career, then just take on board those free resources. So we're talking about things like YouTube videos, of course, not just this one, but there are loads of other ones out there, and there's some terrific advice. People provide advice free of charge, everything from how to get started in voiceovers, how much to charge, techniques, tips and tricks, all that sort of thing that you can do. So definitely utilize those free resources, Joel. Blogs as well, look at blogs, see what advice you can pick up there. So no cost so far. The next one was set up recording from home. You've got to be able to record from home. So in terms of acoustics around your mic space, I would say just grab anything that is lying around. So blankets, duvets, pillows, record in a bedroom if you can, or a wardrobe. Just open up the wardrobe door, make sure you've got some clothes in it, put your mic in front of that. That will be a brilliant sound absorber and will work well as a voiceover booth. So you don't need to buy yourself anything expensive to get started there, certainly in terms of acoustics. Mic, I think this was the sticking point, a microphone. How do you get a microphone for free? In fact, I'm going to talk about something in a while, which I think might relate to this a little bit more. But it's a tough one. I don't think that you'll be able to get a mic for free unless you can pick up one on eBay that's next to nothing, just a few pounds or a few dollars or whatever. You might have to just go for a whip round. One of the things you can do is, if you've got a birthday coming up or it's nearly Christmas, you could say to friends and family, look, don't buy me the aftershave, don't buy me the perfume or the expensive chocolates or flowers or whatever. Get me a microphone, or at least give me some money towards a microphone if you don't mind, please. I think that's a good way of doing it. Whether you can pick up a mic for free, not sure. Although, like I say, in a moment, I'm just going to explore an area, I think, where you can sort of get round that issue. So you might have to spend a little bit of money somewhere. You can get started these days with a half decent condenser mic for like £50. That's or less. Won't be brilliant, but it'll get you on that first rung of the ladder, and that's what you're trying to do when you're starting out in voiceovers. When it comes to software, well, there's no contest. Audacity is absolutely the place to go, and just download Audacity to your computer. And it's free. You can record and edit on there. It's got some lovely effects you can use. Everything you need. And there's no payment option. You don't need to pay to get your DAW, your DAW, digital audio workstation, because Audacity has it all. Best of all, perhaps, is the fact that there are loads of videos online on how to use it as well. So you don't even have to employ a sound engineer to help you get started as well. So we've got through to the next one, which I think is interesting, and that's volunteer. Volunteer, particularly for your local radio station, and I mean your community radio station, not necessarily the high-level, high-flying commercial one where it's very difficult to get in. but community radio. So here in the UK, that not only includes the community radio stations, well over 200 here in Britain, but also hospital radio, student radio, of course, big area. So if you're young enough, so I would really put yourself forward to these radio stations. And the good thing is that you can then utilize their facilities. So what tends to happen is you go along, you start at the bottom, you're making the tea, dusting the equipment, and then after a while you might get you might be allowed on air, so you might get a show to do, or one show, or an hour or 2 hours or whatever. It might be music, might be current affairs, might be sport, and you can build up, obviously you can build up your microphone skills, you can build up your talking to the mic and wearing headphones skills, which is really important in voiceovers. So there's a lot of crossover. But also, most of these radio stations, which are run very professionally, even though there may be no money involved, they usually have downtime where you can use the studio, or maybe they've got a production studio or something, or a facility where you can use their microphone, and it'll be more expensive than the 50 quid one you might have been able to scrape the money together to buy. So you can utilize their equipment. And normally that's absolutely fine. They realize that if you're you're investing your time and effort into their project, into their radio station, that usually the reward, apart from all the experience you get, is that you can use at appropriate times, and of course, and with permission, you can use the microphone and the facilities there, which will be excellent. So you can do your auditions from there. Maybe you can certainly create a show reel from there. My very first show reel was done at the local hospital radio station I was volunteering for, and I just did it on cassette. Shows you how long ago it was. But I was able to do something sort of as professional as I could make it, certainly in terms of facilities, which I couldn't have at home, certainly not in those days. So I think volunteering at your local community radio station is a really good step forward, and will give you invaluable experience. The next thing is join online communities, particularly on Facebook, LinkedIn. Some great sort of online community groups there that you can join, and they'll give you advice. You can submit demos to some of them. You'll learn about trends in the industry, what's hot, what's not, all that sort of thing. And again, invaluable advice if you can join those. I certainly recommend it when you're starting out, and even when you've been doing it for a while as well. And finally, for getting the work, free sites. So the free sites are sites like Fiverr, People Per Hour, Upwork, and ACX for audiobook work, specifically ACX. There are a lot of these sites now. If you do a bit more Googling, you'll notice that there are even more than those, but those are the big hitters. And those sites allow you to sell your voice and get work without paying any money up front. You don't have to invest in that financially, because they will skim off some sort of commission from your earnings, and that's a great way to get started without spending a penny. So there are ways to do it, and if you really are on a budget or no budget at all, if you just don't have the money to do it, then those routes, I think, will help hopefully get you into the beginnings of your voiceover career, get you on that first step, and then you can see what happens after that. So I hope that helps. Thanks very much for watching today. Look after your voice, and see you next time.